Welcome back everyone. Today on the Finance Desk, we are diving into the latest numbers from a giant in the Indian banking space, Bank of Baroda.
That's right. Bank of Baroda, or BOB as many know it, is one of India's largest public sector banks headquartered out of Vadodara, Gujarat. It's got a massive domestic presence and a significant international footprint too. They also have key subsidiaries like India First Life Insurance, BOBCARD, Limited for their credit card business, Baroda BNP Paribas Asset Management, and they hold a majority stake in Nainital Bank.
Quite a diverse portfolio. So they have released their audited results for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31st, 2025. The board approved these results on May 6, 2025. We've got both the standalone and consolidated figures to unpack. Where should we start? Maybe with the core income, net interest income? Let's focus on the standalone results first for the quarter.
Sounds good. Looking at the standalone results for Q4 FY25, the net interest income, or NII, came in at 11,020 crore rupees. Comparing that year over year to Q4 FY24, which was 11,793 crore rupees, it's actually down by 6.6%.
Okay, a dip year over year for NII in Q4. How does that compare sequentially against the previous quarter Q3 FY25?
Sequentially, comparing Q4's 11,020 crore rupees to Q3 FY25's 11,417 crore rupees, the NII is also down by about 3.5% quarter over quarter. So some pressure on NII in the last quarter of the financial year.
Alright, what about the full year standalone NII performance for FY25?
For the full financial year 25, standalone NII stood at 45,659 crore rupees. That's a growth of 2.1% year over year compared to 44,722 crore rupees in FY24. So while Q4 showed a dip, the full year saw modest growth in NII.
Got it. How about non-interest income? Sometimes that can provide a boost. What did Q4 look like on a standalone basis?
It certainly did provide a boost in Q4 FY25. Standalone non-interest income was 5,210 crore rupees. That's a strong jump of 24.3% year over year from 4,191 crore rupees in Q4 FY24.
Wow, that's significant growth year over year. What about the quarter over quarter trend for non-interest income in Q4?
Sequentially, it was even stronger. Compared to 3,769 crore rupees in Q3 FY25, the Q4 figure of 5,210 crore rupees represents a big quarter over quarter jump of 38.2%. This was likely driven by strong treasury income and recoveries during the quarter.
And for the full year, FY25 on the standalone non-interest income?
For the full year FY25, standalone non-interest income came in at 16,647 crore rupees, which is up a healthy 14.8% year over year from 14,495 crore rupees in FY24.
Okay, so strong non-interest income growth buffering the NII pressure somewhat. Let's move to the bottom line, the standalone net profit after tax or PAT. How did Q4 FY25 fare?
Standalone PAT for Q4 FY25 was 5,048 crore rupees. That's an increase of 3.3% year over year compared to 4,886 crore rupees in Q4 FY24.
And the sequential trend, Q4 versus Q3?
Quarter over quarter, the profit also grew. Compared to 4,837 crore rupees in Q3 FY25, the Q4 PAT of 5,048 crore rupees is up 4.4% sequentially.
Now, the big one, the full year standalone net profit for FY25.
This is a highlight. For the full financial year 25, Bank of Baroda reported its highest ever standalone net profit at 19,581 crore rupees. That's a solid 10.1% increase year over year from 17,789 crore rupees in FY24.
Highest ever standalone profit crossing 19,500 crore rupees. That's impressive. How does this translate to earnings per share or EPS on a standalone basis?
For the standalone results, the basic EPS for Q4 FY25 was 9.76 rupees, up from 9.45 rupees year over year and 9.35 rupees quarter over quarter, mirroring the PAT growth percentages. For the full year FY25, the standalone EPS stood at 37.86 rupees compared to 34.40 rupees in FY24, reflecting that 10.1% growth.
Okay, solid performance on the standalone profit front for the full year. Now let's bring in the consolidated picture. What did the consolidated net profit look like for the full year FY25?
The consolidated net profit after tax for FY25 also crossed a significant milestone. It came in at 20,716 crore rupees. That's up 10.4% year over year compared to 18,767 crore rupees in FY24. So the group as a whole also delivered strong profit growth, surpassing the 20,000 crore rupee mark.
Excellent. And the consolidated EPS for FY25?
Consolidated EPS for the full year was 40.06 rupees, up from 36.29 rupees in FY24, again showing that 10.4% year-over-year growth.
So broadly similar growth trends in PAT and EPS between standalone and consolidated for the full year. What about profitability ratios? Did we see margin pressure as hinted by the quarterly NII dip?
Yes, there was some pressure. The global net interest margin, or NIM, for the full year FY25 stood at 3.02%, down from 3.18% in FY24. The domestic NIM was slightly better at 3.18% for FY25, but still down from 3.32% in the previous year. So margins have compressed slightly.
And return on assets and equity?
On the standalone side, the return on assets, or ROA, remained stable and above the 1% mark, coming in at 1.16% for FY25, almost flat from 1.17% in FY24. The return on equity, or ROE, stood at 16.96% for FY25. That's a healthy number, though slightly lower than the 18.95% reported in FY24, likely reflecting the increased equity base.
What about operational efficiency? Any movement in the cost-to-income ratio?
The standalone cost-to-income ratio for FY25 was 47.94%, a marginal increase from 47.71% in FY24. So costs seem reasonably well managed, but efficiency didn't improve significantly during the year.
Were there any significant exceptional items impacting either the standalone or consolidated results this year?
Looking through the notes, there don't appear to be any major exceptional items reported in the traditional sense. This suggests the profits we're seeing are largely from core operations, which is a positive.
Okay, let's shift to the balance sheet. How did deposits and advances grow in FY25? Let's stick with standalone figures for now.
Growth was healthy. Standalone global deposits reached 14,72,035 crore rupees as of March 25, showing a strong 10.3% year-over-year growth. Domestic deposits grew 9.3% year-over-year to 12,42,169 crore rupees.
And the CASA ratio? That's the cheaper source of funds.
The domestic CASA, current account savings account ratio, saw a bit of a dip. It stood at 39.97% as of March 25, down 106 basis points from 41.03% in March 24. This is a trend seen across many banks, but something to watch.
How about the loan book?
Standalone global advances grew robustly by 12.8% year-over-year to 12,30,461 crore rupees. Domestic advances were up 13.7% year-over-year to 10,21,112 crore rupees.
Any specific drivers within the loan book? Retail seems to be a focus area.
Absolutely. The organic retail advances, excluding portfolio purchases, grew strongly by 19.4% year-over-year, reaching 2,56,633 crore rupees. This was driven by good growth in auto loans, up 20.3%, mortgage loans, up 18.9%, and home loans, up 17.3%. Consequently, the share of RAM, that's retail, agriculture, and MSME, loans in domestic advances improved by 190 basis points year-over-year to 59.6%.
That's a significant shift towards the RAM segment. What about the bank's capital position? Is it comfortable?
Very comfortable. The standalone capital adequacy ratio, or CRAR, stood at 17.19% as of March 25, well above the regulatory requirement, and up from 16.31% a year ago. The crucial CET1 ratio was strong at 13.78%, up from 12.54% in March 24.
And the consolidated capital position?
The consolidated CRAR was even higher at 17.60%, with a CET1 ratio of 14.28% as of March 25. So the group is very well capitalized.
Okay, strong capitalization. Did the bank mention anything about cash flows or dividends?
Yes, the standalone cash flow statement shows a significant turnaround in net cash from operating activities, reporting a positive 28,020 crore rupees for FY25 compared to a negative outflow in FY24. And importantly for shareholders, the board has recommended a substantial dividend of 8.35 rupees per equity share for FY24-25, which translates to a dividend payout ratio of about 22% based on standalone PAT. That's subject to shareholder approval, of course.
A good dividend payout. Now let's dive into the segments. How did the different business verticals perform on a standalone basis in FY25?
So if we look at how different segments performed in FY25 versus FY24, treasury operations did really well. Revenue grew to about 32,235 crore rupees and their profit before interest and tax jumped quite a bit to nearly 6,947 crore rupees from 4,942 crore rupees last year. Pretty impressive. Wholesale banking saw decent revenue growth to 51,375 crore rupees, but their profit stayed basically flat at 16,560 crore rupees compared to 16,409 crore rupees in FY24. For retail banking, they had good revenue growth to 53,135 crore rupees. But here's the interesting part. Their profit actually dropped significantly to 7,946 crore rupees from nearly 11,000 crore rupees in FY24. Oh, and other banking operations also grew both revenue and profit.
Hold on, the retail banking profit dropped significantly year over year despite revenue growth? That seems counterintuitive with the strong retail loan growth we discussed. Any idea why?
That's a key observation. The segment results don't provide the full breakdown, but this could be due to several factors. Perhaps higher provisioning allocated to the retail segment during the year, increased operating costs associated with retail expansion, or perhaps pressure on yields within the retail book. It definitely warrants a closer look in future analysis or management commentary.
Indeed, now a major strength highlighted in the press release was asset quality. What do the numbers show there?
Asset quality has shown remarkable improvement. The standalone gross NPA ratio improved significantly, down 66 basis points year over year to 2.26% as of March 25, the lowest in 13 years. The net NPA ratio also improved by 10 basis points year over year to 0.58%, again a 13-year low.
That's very strong improvement. What about provisioning and slippages?
The provision coverage ratio or PCR remains very healthy. Including technical write-offs, it stood at 93.29%, almost unchanged from the previous year. Excluding technical write-offs, it was 74.87%. The annual slippage ratio also improved, declining to 0.78% for FY25 from 0.99% in FY24. And the credit cost for FY25 was contained at 0.47%, down from 0.67% in FY24. So across the board, asset quality metrics are looking very robust.
Excellent. Were there any other significant notes or events mentioned in the results that caught your eye?
A couple of key things. First, the bank adopted the new RBI Master Direction on the classification, valuation and operation of investment portfolios from April 1, 2024. This resulted in a positive transitional impact on reserves, about 3,022 crore rupees net of tax on a standalone basis, and 3,043 crore rupees on a consolidated basis. It's important to note, this makes direct comparison of investment-related figures with the previous year slightly less straightforward.
Okay, an accounting change impact. Anything else?
The bank also continues to amortize the additional liability related to the family pension revision over 5 years, as permitted by the RBI. They've noted the impact if the full amount were charged in the current year. Performance of subsidiaries, as we touched upon briefly, was generally positive, contributing to the consolidated results. And of course, the significant dividend recommendation of 8.35 rupees per share.
Alright, now, a critical piece, the auditor's report. Did the auditors raise any red flags, qualifications, or emphasis of matter for either the standalone or consolidated results?
This is a significant positive for Bank of Baroda. Both the standalone and the consolidated auditor reports carry unmodified opinions. The joint statutory auditors have concluded that the financial statements give a true and fair view and comply with the relevant accounting standards and regulations. There are no qualifications, adverse remarks, or specific emphasis of matter paragraphs highlighting major concerns beyond the standard notes about relying on the work of other auditors for branches and subsidiaries. It's a clean bill of health from the auditors for both sets of accounts.
That's very reassuring, especially for a bank of this size. So bringing it all together, what's the overall outlook for Bank of Baroda based on these FY25 results?
Disclaimer: as always, investment decisions should be made after consulting with certified financial experts. The outlook appears quite positive. Bank of Baroda delivered record profits for FY25, underpinned by solid loan growth, particularly in the retail segment, and significantly improved asset quality, with NPAs at multi-year lows. The capital position is very strong, providing a good buffer and capacity for future growth. The clean auditor's report adds to the confidence.
What are the potential risks or areas to monitor?
Key areas to watch would be the net interest margins, which saw some compression this year. Sustaining loan growth momentum in a competitive environment is always a challenge. The drop in retail segment profitability, despite revenue growth, needs monitoring to understand the underlying drivers. And like all banks, performance is linked to the broader macroeconomic environment.
Makes sense. So to summarize the key takeaways from Bank of Baroda's FY25 performance:
record standalone and consolidated profits crossing the 19,500 crore and 20,000 crore rupee marks respectively. Robust loan growth led by retail, agriculture, and MSME. Excellent improvement in asset quality with GNPA and NNPA ratios at 13-year lows. Strong capital adequacy. A healthy dividend recommendation. And importantly, clean, unmodified opinions from the auditors on both standalone and consolidated results.
Some challenges remain, like NIM pressure and the retail segment's profit dip, but overall, a strong showing for Bank of Baroda in FY25.
Absolutely, a very solid performance overall.
That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in for this breakdown of Bank of Baroda's results.
Join us next time for more financial insights.